In the year 1607, a small group of English settlers embarked on a journey that would change the course of history. Their destination? A new world across the Atlantic, where they aimed to establish the first permanent English settlement in North America. This is the story of Jamestown. The journey was treacherous, but on April 26, 1607, three ships, the Susan Constant, the Godspeed, and the Discovery, arrived on the shores of what we now know as Virginia. Aboard these ships were 104 men and boys, led by Captain Christopher Newport. Their mission? To establish a foothold for England in the New World, to find gold, and to seek a route to the Pacific. When the settlers arrived, they were greeted by a dense, humid wilderness and a harsh, unfamiliar climate. Despite these challenges, they began constructing a fort along the banks of the James River, named after King James I of England. Little did they know, the establishment of Jamestown would be one of the most pivotal moments in American history. On May 14, 1607, Jamestown was officially established. But it was far from an easy beginning. The settlers faced numerous challenges, from harsh weather and disease to a lack of proper supplies. Many of the original settlers were gentlemen, unaccustomed to manual labor. As a result, the early days of the colony were plagued by poor planning and inadequate leadership. One of the most immediate and serious problems was disease. The swampy area they had chosen was not ideal. It was riddled with mosquitoes carrying malaria, and the brackish water was unsafe to drink. As a result, the settlers began to fall ill, and within the first year, many had perished. Another significant challenge was the relationship with the local Powhatan Confederacy, a powerful network of tribes led by Chief Powhatan. Initially, the English sought to trade with the natives for food. However, cultural misunderstandings and growing mistrust led to tensions. The settlers, desperate for resources, often took what they needed by force, which only worsened relations. Amidst the struggle for survival, a new leader began to emerge. Captain John Smith, a soldier and adventurer, took charge of the settlement. Smith famously declared, "He that will not work shall not eat," enforcing strict discipline and encouraging the settlers to farm, build, and hunt. Smith also established a fragile peace with the Powhatan by negotiating directly with Chief Powhatan and his daughter, Pocahontas. While the details of Smith's interactions with Pocahontas have been romanticized in popular culture, it's clear that her role was crucial in fostering some level of cooperation between the settlers and the natives. Captain John, a controversial figure. Under Smith's leadership, the colony began to stabilize. The settlers learned to grow corn, beans, and squash, crops that were new to them but essential for survival. However, the peace was short-lived. In late 1609, Smith was injured in a gunpowder explosion and had to return to England. Without his leadership, the colony was once again in chaos. The Starving Time, winter of 1609 to 1610. The winter of 1609 to 1610 is known as the Starving Time. Without enough food and with increasing hostility from the Powhatan, the settlers faced their darkest hours. Many succumbed to disease and starvation. In a desperate state, some even resorted to cannibalism. Out of the original 500 settlers, only 60 survived that brutal winter. Just when it seemed like Jamestown would be abandoned, reinforcements arrived. New supplies and more settlers were sent from England, giving the colony a renewed chance at survival. Among these new arrivals was Lord De La Warr, who took over as governor and helped enforce a more structured government. But what truly saved Jamestown was not the arrival of new settlers or leadership. It was the discovery of a cash crop that would turn the struggling colony into a profitable enterprise: tobacco. John Rolfe, one of the settlers, began cultivating a sweeter, more marketable strain of tobacco in 1612. It quickly became a valuable export to England, and within a few years, Jamestown was thriving. Rolfe also married Pocahontas in 1614, marking a brief period of peace between the English settlers and the Powhatan tribes. This marriage was not just a personal union, but a political alliance that helped ease tensions between the two communities, allowing the settlement to grow. By 1620, Jamestown had grown significantly. What started as a desperate, ill-equipped settlement on the edge of collapse was now an important outpost for England in the New World. The colony's economy, driven by tobacco, laid the groundwork for the future development of the American colonies. The founding of Jamestown was a story of perseverance, adaptation, and survival. Despite the hardships, it became the cornerstone of what would later become the United States. From its earliest days, Jamestown represented the spirit of exploration, ambition, and the willingness to endure against all odds. Jamestown, 1607, the birth of a nation. Thank you for joining us on this journey through history. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share for more stories of the past that shaped our world.